Sold it, sold it, sold it. $600,000. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Joe Wilson, Wilson Auctioneers Incorporated. This is David Brewer, president of the company, and my son-in-law does a great job. David, let's talk about, we sell, you know, of course our corporate office is in Hot Springs, right there. We both live on Lake Hamilton, yes, so we know that market pretty well. Let's talk about selling lake property, not only on Lake Hamilton, but other lakes, whether it's Gurus Ferry or wherever you are. Auction method of marketing works.
You're absolutely right. One thing about lake properties, so many of them are built, you know, individually. They're not spec houses. They're not in a subdivision. They're showcase homes.
They're custom homes.
Custom homes.
Right.
And it's like selling a custom piece of art or an antique car or something like that. No one truly knows the exact value of that. And that's why the auction method works so well, to find all the buyers out there that'll come bid on your property, and then you'll find out what the market thinks it's worth. All the time, we have our sellers first tell us, well, I had this house appraised for $895,000 like we did last year with that house, and it brings $1.2 million at auction. People say, how does that happen? It's because you don't know what the market is until you actually advertise it and put it out there. And you know, you've sold your house on Lake Hamilton before.
I literally did sell the house that we lived in. We built for over 20 years, and I decided this last year, my wife and I, that, you know, like every seller, there's a time to sell, there's a time to move on. And we were downsizing, wanted to kind of try to get some peace in our life. And so we put our own house up at auction. So I'm not talking to anybody ever about selling anything that I haven't done, that I haven't experienced, because people ask me all the time, well, how do you know this works, or have you actually done this? Right. I've sold several properties.
You have.
We just sold 18 acres that, you know, I own that, that did real well too. So I know where you're coming from. The fact of the matter is, like David was saying, you know, people, we sell properties all the time on Lake Hamilton that sometimes brings a lot more than they had an appraisal for. And the reason for that is that it's hard to, especially the way the market's been on the lake. I mean, a year ago, a property's, you know, worth $1 million, and now it brings 1.3 or 4 million. I mean, so nobody knows what the market is, but you want to find out what the market is on Lake Hamilton property, call Wilson Auctioneers. Let us come look, let us do what we do best, and that's market your property. We can put qualified buyers in your front yard on auction day and get your property sold. And here's something else, David, you can talk a little bit about, especially with Lake Hamilton property. Gosh, now probably what, half, 50, 60% of them we sell before we ever get to auction day. And kind of explain how that works, because I know people are thinking, I've had people ask me, what do you mean you sell a property before auction day?
Right. Well, one thing that's important to understand is, you know, we started our own app a few years ago, and because of that, we've been able to track all of these registered buyers for all of the Lake Hamilton auctions we've had. So as soon as we go and we get a new property for auction, we can immediately contact those buyers, get them into that property, show it to them, and find out if they're interested. And a lot of people immediately say, hey, I'm ready to buy this house, and they don't want to wait till the auction. And they're all, honestly, most of them are afraid of the competition. And so they start making offers quickly. And so for our sellers, it's a great advantage to have. You know you're going to have an auction and get a cash offer, you know, let's say on April 18th. But between now and April 18th, you're going to have offers made that are the same terms as the auction, closing within 30 days. So, you know, what we do is everything that your typical realtor does, we just put a deadline on it. We make those buyers commit and take action on your property, and that's what everybody wants.
When people sign a contract, we know they're going to close, and the reason for that is that we collect the kind of earnest money that kind of keeps their feet in the fire, so to speak. You've got a property out there you're ready to sell, whether it's a lake property, residential property, whatever it is, call Wilson Auctioneers Incorporated. Let David or Joe Wilson or one of our agents talk to you. We can make this work for you. Call Wilson Auctioneers Incorporated and we'll put sold on your property.